Hey, good morning everybody. BDF 44 coming at you another video. Alright, so my first night in the hostel was very interesting. I'd say the word was hostile. That was the word. I did get some good sleep. I got about 5 hours, but we were in there with some folks, man. I was on the top bunk and a guy underneath me was just coughing and snorting. I think he was trying to get a reaction out of people. The type of person who's very upset at the world, mad at himself, mad at everybody else. So it was one of those things where I just wasn't giving him what he wanted. You know what I mean? Every time he sensed me moving, he'd start coughing. You know, at one point in time, he started dropping quarters. I guess somebody, either it was myself or somebody else, was snoring too loud for him. So he started dropping quarters on purpose. And there was this brother who was watching the game in the other room, and he heard him coughing. And I guess they had an interaction earlier, and he talked bad about him. He was talking about that man in some very, very bad ways. And I think he thought that we all thought that way about him because we were all black. So he was I think a German guy or something like that. So it was one of those things where I guess he wasn't too fond of us, and that was kind of his energy. But I just stayed to myself, man. I stayed on the bunk, watched the Laker game as much as I could anyway, because I wasn't getting the service that I needed since I switched over from T-Mobile. Wasn't quite the same service as it pertains to watching those games, but you know, all in all, I had some pretty solid dreams. A really fun dream. That was the only thing I can honestly say. My dream was fun as heck. I ended up in a situation where it was a hey, good morning, buddy. Hey, what's up? But it was one of them situations where I guess it was a bunch of friends in that video. In that dream, rather. It was my girl Bronze. She was playing a love interest to Jerry Rice in a TV show. Like, it was a TV show type of thing, but like you could go down to different tunnels and go to different shows. For example, if you, like, let's say I'm walking as I am right now, there's a tunnel right there to go to Weeds, the show Weeds that used to be on back in the day on Showtime. And there was a tunnel up that went to like Living Single, just random stuff. So it was almost like you're in a TV show. Like database is the best way I know how to describe it. But where I was at, I guess it was just a TV show that had never been named before, and it was Jerry Rice and my homegirl Bronze, my boy Cage, my niece Maisha, rest in peace, love you. She was in the dream. My niece Shantae was in the dream. And they were both walking together, wearing some crazy clothing. I don't know what was going on in that dream, man. But it was a lot. It was a whole lot to absorb. And it was a whole lot of fun in that dream. But I ended up getting up at like 5:50. I just wanted to get out of that room. The energies got too bad. Plus, the doors and the windows were closed. There was no ventilation. You know how I am. If you do, I sleep with a fan on. I sleep with my window open. So what I did was, after I came home yesterday, came back to this place, I showered as soon as I got in there around 6:30. And I tried to go shower this morning, but it was locked. Somebody had locked the door. I guess somebody was in there. So I just did the brush my teeth thing, washed up a little bit, and then got up out of here. Went out to the little patio area and ended up charging my phone, because I wasn't able to charge my phone last night. So I charged it this morning till about almost 90 right here, and kept what do you call it? Kept my towel over my chest on the couch area, because it is freezing out here. It's got to be at least 60 something degrees. So many different wild temperatures in North Hollywood, but it's about 7:15 right now. And that's the time I said I probably want to get out of there, because last time the lady showed up at 8:15. It's about a 35-40 minute walk back to the hotel. So hopefully everything is still there. Obviously, you see me shivering like a madman, but I'm not as cold as I look. My body's just reacting to it in the way that it is. But yeah, of course something bit me while I was sitting there on that couch. But in the couch area where I was sitting outside, it was quiet and peaceful, still dark. All of a sudden I look up, and it's this white dude with dreads. And this guy had apparently been up all night. Now, he came in our room last night. I knew there was somebody in there that was like this. But he came in the room last night, turned on the light, and said they need sunlight. Forgive me. And he came back in 10 minutes later, knocked again, and said they need sunlight. Forgive me. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Who is this? I guess what it was is he was in the room in the back area near the couch where I was at when I charged my phone. This brother was really crazy. We talk about mental health. No, he's nuts. It's different levels, and I guess that's what I learned being this hostel, is seeing the different levels of mental health. Like, I got mine with anxiety and all these different things, and anticipation issues and depression. But what I dealt with right now, entirely different level, man. This dude could not stop moving. He'd come out there, and it was like this canopy thing that's supposed to block the rain that's supposed to come down. He started messing with that, and he said something along the lines of "Good morning," and then walked out of it, and came back. Said, "I'm gonna light a cigarette now, okay?" He didn't light a cigarette. Good, bro. And he left, and he came back. Okay, you're covered up. You're good. Because we don't want to lose everything in the rain. I'm like, bro, there's no clouds above us at all. There's no rain coming at all. And he left and went in the room. I guess it's into his room where he was supposed to have his bunk. And all of a sudden you hear screaming. This elderly lady, and she ain't all that saying her damn self. She came out saying, "You see this crazy MFer? I'm gonna slit his throat. I can't stand him. He's been doing this all night. I have insomnia. He's been doing this all night." She was cussing and fussing. Her voice was hilarious to me. I told her, I was like, you can sit on the couch. I'll sit where you're sitting. I just want to charge my phone. And she was like, "No, that's not okay." She said, "No, that's not necessary. It's just you put me in this room with this madman, and he won't let me sleep." That's exactly how she was talking. "This is a madman. He won't let me sleep. He's been doing this all night. He comes in, he smokes crack, he leaves, he smokes crack again. All night. He just won't let me sleep." And then you could hear her. She was like, "I'm just gonna sit out here for 5 minutes. I just need a break." And I was like, all right. So I'm sitting there listening to her, kind of cracking up. And then after that little 5 minutes, she went back in the room, and you could hear her cussing him out. "MF, would you listen to someone in your life? Listen to this elderly lady. Listen to someone in your life. No one wants to hear you. Shut up." Like, she was just giving him hell, man. Absolute hell. It was funny as hell. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is, where am I going? I think I'm heading the wrong direction. I'm supposed to be headed up this way, I believe. Yeah, Lancashire. Kind of turned around. Lancashire. This way, I think. This way, yeah. Woo. It's easy to get turned around here. That's the hunger. I want to go down Lancashire to get where I'm going. But yeah, man, it was quite the ordeal, y'all. I had a good time laughing about that. And at the end of the situation, I just got up and left, man. Grabbed myself 2 waters that they had offered. There was no need to check out. You pay before you get there. You know what I mean? You just leave. And so that's what I did. I got the hell up out of there, man. I gotta make sure I'm going the right way, yo. This don't feel right either. Because I know I crossed them. The 224 Universal goes that way. So I think I'm supposed to be going that way. I'm still kind of turned around. And I definitely don't want to go the wrong way. Because I ain't got that much time. But yeah, man. That was funny as hell. She was cussing him out in that room, talking about she was going to slit his throat and all kinds of other stuff. And I was not going to stick around. She was like, "Do you want me to call the cops on you again? I can call the cops on you again." Apparently she had issues with this guy before. So, you know what we got to... Hold up. You know how we move. R.P. Kobe, GOAT. You know. Big fella. 34, you know how we do. We don't stop past that without showing love. No way. 3-peat. You know what it is. Shout out to the Dodgers when they won it too, man. I was definitely a fan that year. Specifically 2020. 88 was dope too. I heard all about that even though I didn't watch it. But yeah, I had to stop and show love to the Lakers and the Dodgers on that one, especially Kobe and big fella. But yeah, man, this is one of them situations where I woke up this morning knowing that I had dealt with a lot of energy that was not well, a lot of bad energy, a lot of sick-minded individuals. And you know, I just tell you the truth, man. I don't think there's too many people out here that aren't working that aren't mentally ill. When I start thinking about the help that I'm looking for and stuff like that, these people ain't getting no help. Like these people, everybody, including the lady, they're much sicker than me. My sickness comes out in a different way, man. It's just different. Like, I'm struggling with mine, but they are like affecting other people with theirs, to the point where you can't even relax around them. That's what it really came down to. They wouldn't even allow you to relax. You try to do anything at all, and they screaming. And the one thing I've learned about myself, not only in that hospital, but on the way here on the train, is that what annoys me more than crazy people is the people who complain about crazy people. For example, and this lady wasn't crazy, but she was getting on there on the train with a huge loud horn speaker, and they were giving out flyers in regards to some political guy, some politician that they're trying to get off the ground. And they were loud, like loud as hell. In fact, I had to tell the lady who was passing the flyers out to tell the girl who was on the speaker to please turn it down a little bit, because she was blaring a little more than she needed to get, you know what I mean? I said it in a kind way, but there was a dude on there on the train who was screaming as loud as they were, complaining about them. And he was the one who was annoying me more. Like, I can deal with the crazies. What I have a hard time with is the people who complain about the crazies, who want to be as loud as the crazies about complaining about them. I have a bigger problem with y'all. If you're like that, you're going to be the one that annoys me more than them. That's just how I'm wired. I can't stand it, because at least with them, they're dealing with themselves. You are spewing out bad energy. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference for me. It's like, I can deal with the nuts who can't do nothing about themselves. Most of the time, they ain't spewing out nothing but gibberish. But it's the people who want to be evil to them and loud about it that ultimately make me angry. Make me want to say, all right, you the one who shut up. And I didn't necessarily feel that way about the lady here, because she was funny. She was really hilarious. Like, I got a good laugh out of her. I was sitting there kind of in a sad mode, thinking about my problems, thinking about where my stuff is, hoping that it would still be there. Thankful that my backpack was still there when I got back yesterday from my homeboy's house, by the way. But, you know, just all of that stuff, man. I was really feeling it this morning around 6:15 this morning. Just praying, you know, still dark. And I tell you guys the truth, she came out there and made me feel better, cracking up about him. Talking about him, she wasn't playing at all, though. She was very serious, but I got a laugh out of it. Kind of warmed up my morning. So, yeah, man, that's the situation. I just wanted people to know my experience dealing with a lot of people in there who were not well. Those weren't the only three. Because there was two other brothers that was coming in and out all night long. And I saw one of them as I was coming back from my boy Farai's house. He was standing on the side of the corner talking to his damn self. And he was also somebody who was coming in and out of that room. So it's like, all right, I get it. I get it, God. I see what you're trying to show me. I know that these crazy people are out here, but what you don't want is to have to be exposed to them when you want to lay your head down and sleep. And that's exactly what I experienced last night, pretty much for the first time. It's one thing to go in a hotel room and shut the door behind you. It's another thing to be in a room with like 5 other people and 2 of them are crazy. Like literally crazy. And that's exactly what I just experienced right now. Definitely something I can live without. I'm praying the Lord will never make me have to do this again. I'm praying the Lord will allow me to have a hotel room here as I come here early in the morning. There shouldn't be no reason why I don't get one unless they just still booked from last night, as to which I'd imagine somebody would be checking out this morning at 8:15, as to which I will be arriving at that time or a little earlier than that, with my pace earlier than that. But, you know, it was just a situation where it's like, it was a rewarding experience for me because I had never gone through nothing like that, because I had been telling you guys I didn't want to sleep around nobody. And because I hadn't been in a bunk bed since I was like 11 years old, something like that. And, you know, the person underneath me was just bad energy, man. To be completely honest with you, he was a demon. Some people, you can tell they're unhappy and that. Other people are just looking to make life harder on others. And that was what he was on. He was literally on that. And I think the whole thing was just the same thing I always tell y'all, the gnat energy that comes with a lot of demonic energy. They can't really touch you, but they can make you destroy yourself by attacking them. And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to provoke me to engage with him. And my thing was, I'm already spiritually inclined enough to see that application in so many different areas of my life. So I know your spirit when I see it, and I won't engage with you. You're not going to attack me. You know better than that. But you are going to do everything you can to make me attack you. And I'm just not going to. You're going to be more upset at me not reacting to your actions than I'm upset at you behaving that way. And that's what it became. It became a situation where he would wait 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes to see if I would move so that he could start doing bullcrap. Because I was testing him out. I was like, let me pretend like I'm just fidgeting a little bit. And as I do, here he go. I'm like, oh, he's one of those. He's really like, he's here to try to make other people not be able to sleep. He's here to try to get somebody to maybe punch him or something. And I'm just not, you know what I mean? I'm not stupid enough, nor am I angry enough with all this meditation I've been doing, all this praising God I've been doing over the last 3-4 months, dealing with everything I've been dealing with. I'm not in a space where I'm going to behave like a normal human does. If I was in my secular mind, I probably would have been arrested last night for attacking that dude. Because that's how bad he was acting all night long. But because I'm spiritually inclined and have dealt with his kind in so many other areas of my life, he wasn't no different. Just because he was in human form don't mean he was any different. He just happened to be in human form. It was the same spirit that's been trying to bother me for the whole time, trying to get me to react to it and the irritation of what it tries to provide to my life. And just like the old lady said, she said, I got the patience of Job, but it's running out. I'm up to here. I'm done. And what I've learned is I got the patience of Job. With what I've been dealing with and the different applications of nonsense that's been coming my way, I'm a lot more patient and a lot more understanding than I ever thought I would be. You know, certain things that have been going on in my life, trying to hit me in different directions. That T-Mobile thing, the whole Karen frustration that I was going through internally, you know, having to leave my stuff here underneath that stairwell 2 weeks in a row, 2 situations in a row, rather. I guess every third week or whatever. This is the second time that's happened. But it's like, you know, coming back from that place 3 weeks ago, not knowing where I was going to lay my head, thinking I was going to be homeless that night. The initial dreams that I've been having when I go into these rooms, and them nightmare dreams, all these different things have been hitting me at once. Having to go back and forth to the hotel, GR, and everything that's going on with that. And I'm just waking up in the morning praising God and all of it. Like right now, I woke up praising God, even though I was feeling a little sad about various different things. It's like, man, this stuff ain't breaking me, man. And it keep on hitting me like it's supposed to be some type of water torture, and it ain't working. Granted, I still got a long way to go to get out of this hole, but I'm telling y'all, man, as sure as my name is BDF 44, ain't none of this keeping me from being all right. For the most part, I'm good. I just got to keep on learning these lessons, and maybe the Lord will compel me to do something that I haven't done to get me out of this situation. You know, maybe he wants me to finally just buckle down and work, you know, get a job, like as if I don't have these mental concerns. And, you know, this taught me that maybe that is the road. Maybe this is like that would be the lesser evil than anything that I'm going through. And granted, that's common sense to most people, but for me and how I equate it, not really. Like even now, I don't. Like if I'm glad I'm not going to a security job right now. And I know that's not sane. I really understand that, but I'm just the way I am, man. But I can tell you, I was able to overcome a lot of things I didn't think I could do. Sleeping around others. I told you I didn't think I could do that, but not without getting any, you know, staying up all night. I got about 5 hours of sleep. one increment of 2 hours, another increment of 3. I think that's how that went. And dude kept waking me up, but it didn't even really, like, it bothered me, but not in a way that made me act anyway. You know what I mean? It didn't. I knew my patience was bothering him more. It's chestnut checkers. See, that's what it was for me. It was like the Holy Spirit was putting in my heart, like, the best way to get back at this dude is to do something he does not like. And what he does not like is you not reacting to him. Like, truly. He does not like you not reacting to him. He could live with you. It's just like, and I'm gonna liken it to something that I really believe this is like too. It's just like Joe Budden and Drake. And Joe Budden getting at Drake the way that he did, and Drake finally snapping on him and saying all that he did. Got him. All you gotta do is ignore Joe. Joe would have been very unhappy if you ignored him. In theory. Because obviously those guys could be setting that up for promo for both of their sides, for which I think that's probably is. But the point is, this would be the best application of that example. Is you leave him alone. Once you start reacting, boom. Now you in his web. You took the bait. Ain't taking the bait. What's gonna piss you off is me not taking the bait. And since you pissing me off, I want to piss you off. It's chestnut checkers. So the best thing I could do with that dude was nothing. Be as still as death. As he's just doing all the different stuff he could do to get in the minds of probably 98% of human beings would have did something or said something or left the room or something. I wasn't gonna do none of that. I wasn't gonna do none of that. I was gonna stand my ground comfortably and patiently as he continued to do what devils do. And I tell you, just like a devil, can't do nothing to you unless you react to it. Can't do nothing to you unless you react to it. Granted, there are gonna be certain people that are gonna attack you. That's not a foolproof application of truth. It's not, because they got people out there who do something to you for nothing. So don't get it twisted. You have to watch your back and watch your front at all times. But what I'm saying is, in situations like this, with the gnats of life, as we call them, gnats are gonna make you swing at everything, including yourself, trying to kill them. I ain't gonna let a gnat in life do that to me. Whether you're in human form, business form, whatever. If your intention is to try to make me react, my best move is to not. And I walk out of there with my dignity. I walk out of there with my freedom. I walk out of there with my respect. I walk out of there with all my property. I walk out of there able to tell the story about how I won the battle. And I did. I really did. That dude could not get to me at all. Nothing he did garnered a reaction. I tell you, that's one of the proudest things I've dealt with in North Hollywood. It was that dude. One of the proudest things. Because as I've already said, if this would have been 99% of people, I think 98% of human beings would have done something with that dude. They'd have said something, complained on him or something, reacted. At the very least, just react. Sigh, something. I was doing nothing. He'd wake up and drop a quarter. I'd wake up, praise God, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Because there was nothing he could do. There was nothing he could do to me. And he was trying. And I know it was me that he was trying to get some reaction from. Because the only other person in the room at the time was a brother all the way on the other side of the room who was snoring sleep. He was trying to mess with whoever was above him. It didn't matter who it was, I don't believe. It didn't really matter who it was. He just wanted to make somebody's life miserable, man. And I'm telling you, it might have kept me from a couple hours of sleep, but I went to sleep and had great dreams. That's the God's honest truth. I had more fun in that dream than I had since the Kobe dream I told y'all about a few nights ago. And so that was a big hurdle for me, sleeping around others. And then when dealing with that, it being a very bad worst case scenario type situation. Because granted, when I tell y'all I don't want to sleep around other people and I don't want to live in shelters and boarding homes, it's that type of stuff that I actually ultimately anticipated being like that. Being around a bunch of crazies, you know, not really being all that comfortable in the room. Although that bed was a little more comfortable, it was still a bunk bed, so he was shaking it and making, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. Just stronger, man. And now I'm still not sure what's up with my stuff. Obviously, my stuff is still under this underneath that staircase. And then when I get there, God be the glory, He'll allow me to get my room there. Because if I can't get a room, then we got to go probably back to the hostel and give them another $50 and deal with that nonsense again. So I definitely don't want that. Like really, really badly don't want that. I can deal with him for one night, not several. But then again, you never know how strong you are until you're forced to deal with something. That's just what this has been about. I'm getting a lot stronger, man. All of these different things that I've gone through has made me stronger. This walk is easier than the last 3 weeks ago's walk. Not knowing what's up with my stuff, not knowing this and that. Easier walk, man. Same problem, stronger me. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm just going along with the Spirit of God that I believe has been carrying me through this whole process. And although this has been a very daunting process, that's also a very strong spirit. And so, you know, I'm waking up to understanding that I don't want to live like that. And maybe I can do a few things to keep from living like that, even within my space of anxiety, because I faced several anxieties. There was anxiety about walking down the street. I'm walking down the street. There was anxiety about living with others. I had to live with others last night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these are things that I faced that I thought in my head with my mental health stuff that I couldn't face. And so if they would have gave me GR, I would have never gained this very, very, very fun to talk about experience. I ain't gonna say the experience was fun, it wasn't. But now that it's over with, talking about it and having a story to tell somebody else was worth it. That's a story worth telling for the rest of my life. About how I slept in the hostel that night. And just all that I dealt with while there. Just for a couple hours. I was only there from 7:30 at night. Well, I think I got back in that room probably about 6. 6 at night to 7 in the morning. It wasn't even a full night. But I had enough to tell a story that will last a lifetime. And like I said, I'm really, really prayerful that God will see to it that I don't ever have to do that again. I really did not enjoy that at all. It wasn't nowhere near fun. I didn't get to shower like I wanted to. I didn't get to do, it was a lot of stuff. I didn't get to exercise, nothing. There would have been no exercise in that room. So it's definitely something that would make me very unhappy from just in general. I'm not sitting here saying that I was pleased with that. I'm just telling you it felt like like something I needed to overcome. And one of the things that brother was saying about the dude that was underneath me was whatever type of COVID he got, whatever, he don't want to get it. And I think that was the story, because when I got back in the room was the window was locked. It was right next to me. Also right next to him. And so I opened the window up. You know me, as I've already said in this video, I sleep with ventilation. I believe in fresh air at all times. I got a fan next to a window at all times in every room that I've been in here. This is how I live. I live with fresh air. I don't believe in isolated air. I don't think you should have air not be recycled constantly. I just believe it, especially with the sinus issues that I have. So I opened the window up. And when he got in there, came in there with his bad energy, you can see it already, the way he came in. Throwing stuff around. All right, I knew what I was dealing with. Before I even got really settled in, I already knew he was full of it. So I'm like, all right. And he comes in and he slows the window, closes it, but not all the way, just halfway. All right. I work with you, you know what I mean? If you're obviously next to the window. A lot of people don't like sleeping with the window open. Maybe you're cold, you know what I mean? It got to a point where it was like 8:30 at night. I'm watching the game and he closed it tight. And then he starts coughing. I'm like, okay, this fool, if he has some type of COVID, he's trying to infect all of us with it. Like, that's what I thought. And then 15, 20 minutes later, that brother who was talking bad about him said that. It's like, this fool trying to infect everybody with what he got, because they were in another room listening to him cough. Dude looking at me crazy. He's smoking all them cigarettes, probably got COVID. Now he want everybody to catch it. I'm like, wow. And then the guy mumbled something under his breath. And then proceeded to act even more evil. You know what I mean? Reacting to that brother talking about him. And see, that brother, he was also kind of, his energy wasn't right either. Because he was one of them loud talking dudes And the more he talked about the celebrities he had been around, the louder he talked. He one of those. So I was like, these are both demons. They just bouncing off each other, to be completely honest with you. He was like, and I hung out with Jamie Foxx and Jay-Z. And I'm like, yep, for sure, bro, for sure. It was that kind of energy. Maybe he did, but it just seemed like the louder he talked, the more, impressive his lies became, so to speak. And so for me, I just know those loud talking people a lot of times. They talk loud, they ain't really saying nothing. They speak a lot, but they ain't really telling the truth. That's that kind of energy. And he was talking to a lady, but he was really being abrasive with her, like talking like, just saying certain things in a certain way that just made you understand that he was defensive and aggressive. And so for me, it's like, man, these are the type of personalities that are gonna be in places like this. This is the type of stuff that keeps me away from people altogether out. If y'all want to know why I'm introverted, it's because I don't like that, and I don't like none of that. I don't like none of that energy. All of that stuff I've described to you, I don't like. I don't like any of it. You know what I mean? People got their own personalities, and I have mine, and mine likes to stay away from them. That's just what it is. But you just get to a point, and then the lady he was talking to was drunk and loud, and like it never ended. The personalities in that place. She was drunk and loud. She was talking, trying to, I guess it was certain people trying to sleep in our room. It was a brother trying to sleep. She was coming in, turning on lights and all types of stuff. I'm like, man, this is exactly what I be trying to stay away from, Lord. This is what I'm happy that you gave me the strength to do this, but now that I'm in it, I don't feel anxious. I'm irritated and very unhappy with it, and very hopeful that you will never force me to do this again. Very, very, very hopeful that you will see to it that wherever I find myself tonight, it ain't there. If they turn me away here, please see to it that I'm not there. And to Natalie and her husband who do who lend their property out, they were great. They were great, but you didn't see them after a certain hour. I don't even think they stay on the property after a certain hour. I think they leave, and I think they come back in the morning. I really do. I don't think they were there, because I didn't see them after a while. And I don't blame them, because that is not somewhere you want to lay your head with all them crazies they be letting stay there. It's just mental illness is rampant in this state, y'all. I cannot stress it enough. It's rampant. Trying to get help for mental illness is like asking for water in a drought. Like, it's not here. It's just not here, man. And so it sucks, because I'm walking past my famous market right now. It's not open yet, but I'm definitely coming back here today to get the rest of my stuff. I could probably come back tomorrow to get that, but I am definitely going to Target today to get some food as soon as I get checked into this hotel, because I don't even have enough to make a meal today, because all of my perishables are done. I took care of that, made sure I didn't have them laid out. I just left some bread, some apples, some bananas, and the rice, and everything else needs to be replaced. Oh, and on top of that, man, some of these squats that I've been doing, the muscles decided they want to grow in last night. So I was in a lot of pain while I was trying to fidget around and lay down. I was in a hell of a lot of pain, man. Like, my right butt cheek was really, really sore. Like, ridiculously sore. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Luckily enough, last night, throughout the second half of my sleep, it grew in. I feel fine right now, but when I first woke up, dude started dropping quarters or whatever, I felt this sharp pain in my backside. I'm like, what the hell? And I touched around, and it was muscle growth. I'm like, okay, well, I guess the work is still paying off. I'm still getting stronger, but my God, man. It was a hell of a time for it to start hurting. But, yeah, man, I'm finally on Kittredge. See what time we're looking at. 7:53, so we're on time as far as what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to get over here by 8. I think they open up at like 8:15, 8:30, something like that. So timing's pretty solid. And so, yeah, man, just trying to appeal to the Lord to say, please, God, don't ever do that again. I appreciate that I was able to do it once. I got through it. It was what it was supposed to be. But this is not something I want to see happen in my life anymore. No. Please don't make me do this again. I'm begging it. And so that's what I'm feeling right now. May my stuff be there. And may a room be available for the next week, 3 weeks. Please, God. And may it be on air conditioned so I ain't got no trouble. But, of course, I didn't make my Laker video last night. Lakers didn't win. Half of the freaking game I couldn't even see because it was so blurry because of the bad service. It's just, I got to get used to not being on T-Mobile's network. But, hopefully that doesn't add up to me having issues seeing it for the duration of this time. But at least I ain't got to pay for a cell phone. Everything's unlimited, so I ain't got to worry about going over limits and all types of stuff. I'm very thankful to be off of their network. I still got to pay them their money, but they're not going to be able to cut me off because I haven't. In theory, unless they found a way to do that. I don't think so. Got a new phone number, so if you know me in real life, shoot me a text. Well, you can't, obviously, but hit me on IG or Facebook if I haven't already hit you. Most of the people I talk to on a regular basis have already been notified of that, and the others are on Facebook that I talk to. Most people, I keep my circle short, man. Not too many people even know me these days. But it is what it is, man. I'm about 20 minutes away, I guess you can say. Not even really, about 15 minutes away, if that, from the hotel. And, I feel good, man. Won the battle against bad food once again. What I was allergic to didn't really kick my butt last night. My boy Farai making that awesome beans and rice. But unfortunately, it had a lot of garlic in it. My body don't like garlic, but I feel good. Didn't wake up needing to use the restroom all kind of crazy or nothing like that. So it's just been a blessing to have experienced that, but it'll be an even bigger blessing to never have to experience that again. That's God's honest truth. But there's always a chance things don't work out. And so I'm still trying to appeal to the Lord in whatever way. Please, please, please make sure these things are all in place when I get there. And, I woke up praising his name either way, man. That's what you got to do, praise his name either way. Gratitude is the attitude from what I understand. And a lot of times that's the difficult part for me. And you've seen me go through it, even walking down this street complaining about different things. And I'll probably complain again, but having gone through what I'm going through, I just don't care to complain no more. He's been showing me too much lately for me not to believe that he's going to do something else, that he's going to work in my favor at some point. Even if it takes time. You know how long it took me to get off this T-Mobile network. I'm off it now. Praise God. And you know how big of a deal that was for me. You know how bad of a struggle, how many gnats were trying to make me react in the name of that circumstance. How many times I had to call them at random hours of the night because they cut me off at random hours of the night. Trying to tell them about my situation every single time. Having to appeal to somebody only for them to get back on the phone and ask me for money that I told them I don't have. I am so pleased to not have to deal with that today. So pleased. You understand what I'm saying? That is a big weight off my shoulders, even though I got plenty other weights to concern with. That one was a mental hurdle, man. Not just a financial one. They were really, really hard to deal with. So, I hope to never return to them. Even though they had good service, I ain't gonna sit up here and tell people they didn't have good service. Service was good. That's about the only thing good on the service as it pertains to the phone itself cooperating pretty fine. But I'm feeling good. It's warming up now. Thank God for that too, because it's been pretty cold for the last couple hours. But I felt like I got enough sleep to handle business. And I thought I wouldn't sleep in a situation like that. I thought I wouldn't. And even though I don't ever want to go back there, I know it's there, and I know how cheap it can be for a night. And that can make the difference in circumstances like this. 3 weeks from now, if I have to go through this again, I know that's there. So it is what it is, man. I'm very hopeful that I can get a hotel room here tonight, man. And then I'm very hopeful that things can start working out. I'm going to try to appeal the GR situation. And I'm going to pray that the Lord gives me the strength to do more things that I was otherwise I could not do. Because this was a big one for me. And I woke up yesterday morning and I asked the Lord to please give me the strength to do something like spend the night in a place like that. I'm tired of just capitulating to that anxiety. I'm tired of just thinking that's fine to just work around it. You gotta do things differently if you want better results. And so that's what I'm pleased about, man. I was able to get through that night. I didn't love it, didn't like it, but I like the idea that I was able to do it. I'll tell you that. And that speaks for a lot. So yeah, man, I told everybody I get that Laker video out. I probably will when I get settled in. And that's my attitude. Not necessarily right now, because I want to sit down and do it right and probably watch the highlights of that game since I missed so much of it. But it was a disappointing game. For it to be a preseason game, I will admit that was a little disappointing to watch it kind of fizzle out the way that we did. We just got to do little things a little better, and I don't want to get into that right now. But, you know, man, praise God, man. I tell y'all, man, I knew I would be praising his name no matter what happened. This was probably worst case scenario as it pertains to where I had to sleep last night. I thought I would, you know, I was pretty hopeful that I would get a hotel. But them hotels were just a little too expensive for the budget that I'm trying to maintain. You could either spend the night in a hotel, waste all your budget, and then not have a single dime to use this week, or you can go to a little hostel, spend within your budget, and then have some money to roam around with if for some reason your family don't send nothing or you can't get anything for yourself. And so that's what I chose. I chose to go through the hard stuff. The difficult path is what I chose. The more anxious path is what I chose, to be more responsible with my family's money. And that's a far cry from the maturity that I was displaying 3 months ago. 3 months ago, you know? And so that's what I'm here to tell y'all, man. I'm just making better decisions. I ain't smoking no weed. There wasn't nothing but weed smokers everywhere in that place. And I didn't touch nothing. You know what I mean? And so I'm just coming a long way, man. Get to a point where you start thinking stronger thoughts. You know, I didn't obsess over KT and her business over the last several days. I just let her be herself. Sent a prayer to her that the Lord put in my heart to send. Sent her a little good morning text, just trying to be the best version of myself I can be and just live with it. You know, feels like to me, you know, it's just the best way to go. You know, you start, especially when you know you're in a space where you can't do nothing for nobody. Can't date her, you know, not without no money. Don't have a place to even take her because I ain't got a place. It's like, all right, let that be what it's gonna be, man. If she's in a space where she's ashamed of how I'm living, I don't know that she is or not. I can't say that most women want to see themselves with a man who's a bum, which is what this would be defined as. You just gotta live with that. And when the money comes around, we'll see how it goes from there. But my attitude is not to force it. I've said prayers. I've shown love. I've declared love. Either you're going to take to it in a positive way and let the Lord bless you with the energy that I have, which I know is real, for which I know so much fake energy, so much demonic energy is around. You know what I mean? People will be wise to take to the people that really love them. But if she's not in that space, she's going to have to learn the hard lessons just like I'm learning these, man. Honest to God. And I hate to be that way, but you can't force nobody to love you. And you certainly can't force nobody to see the good and the God in you. You can't do that. You know, if they believe in you, they believe in you. If they don't, that's their loss. That's what I've learned. This is what I've learned over the last several days and going through this. I believe in me more than I ever have. Why? Because I'm facing things that I told myself I couldn't. I'm going through things that I thought would probably break me. I was dealing with stuff that I thought would likely force me into spaces that would take away my freedom or take away my desire to live. I'm living through what I thought was unlivable. And if that doesn't tell you something about yourself, regardless of what others may or may not think of you, then you're missing the point. Truly missing the point. I found myself in these situations because I thought I couldn't deal with some of the stuff that I've been forced to deal with. That was the point. So, yeah, man, I'm proud and I love myself, and I know I'm not a bum. I'm just in a tough space because I misunderstood what was to be taken for granted and what was to be cherished seriously. And when I move forward in my life, I won't do that again. And it's because I've gone through this that I won't. If the Lord would have sent my ass up and gave me all the money in the world, do you think I would have been any better of a human being? Hell no. It's these circumstances that make you better. Those things that make you worse. And I heard that money brings out even more of what's already there. If you're a jerk, it's just going to make you even more of a jerk. If you're pompous, it's going to make you even more pompous. If you're giving, you're just going to be more so willing to give. If you're gracious, you're going to be even more gracious. So for me, it's like I need to get some of this entitlement out of me. I need to start respecting things that I wasn't respecting more. I need to just grow all the way up. And money wasn't going to make me do that. I was going to smoke even more weed. I was going to be even more lustful, and all these different things that I am not, because of the humble nature of what it is that this situation is forcing me to face. I'd have been more weak, thinking I couldn't handle certain things. Probably would have got to a point where if I lost all the money that I gained, I probably think I couldn't survive that. Now, on this level, if I gain anything at all, I know I can live without it because I don't have it right now. Here I am, going through the worst stuff I've ever been through, although it gets a lot worse than this for a lot of people. And it may get worse for that for me, for which I'm humble too. I'm humble about that. It can get a lot worse from here. I ain't sitting around saying, yeah, I did it, God. Now I'm still saying, Lord, I need you to do more for me, and I need to ask that you give me the strength to do more for myself. And in doing so, I hope you keep me out of spaces that I just can't seem to appreciate, if it's not meant to make me better, for which I think this was. Definitely think living in that hostel last night was supposed to make me better, not worse. It wasn't supposed to make me happy. It was supposed to make me believe in myself more, respect myself more, and ultimately not stand for not being respected. You understand what I'm saying? Not stand for not being respected. When you go through enough, you start realizing that you don't have patience for people that don't respect you, because you learn to respect yourself. So that's really where I'm at, man. I love me even more than I did yesterday. I respect me more than I did yesterday, because I've been through more than I would have been through yesterday. And that's exactly the type of experience that was. And that's exactly the type of experience this is. Only I've been through this now, and God got me through it. It's the second time I had to deal with it. And to be honest with you, there wasn't a whole lot I could do to keep it from happening, because I was waiting on things and the best of my ability, taking care of certain things, and they just weren't falling into place. And that's a life that was meant to make me wait a little longer, to become a little stronger. And so I'm hopeful that the Lord is realizing that I'm in a space where I'm pleased with that, and not to continue to try to teach that lesson, because it's learned. It is learned. I told y'all a couple of weeks ago I didn't think I had learned my lesson. I think I have now. I really do. I think I have an entirely different perspective on that. I think going through this and everything else that led up to since saying that has helped me get to a space where I respect that my lesson is learned as it pertains to respecting things, being willing to do things, being willing to do this, that, and the third. I am. And I'm just hopeful he'll make that experience a lot better than what this ultimately was, man. But this has been a good video to make. I enjoyed walking. I got about 100 more steps before I'm at the hotel. And it's 8:07, so I'm right on time. Right on time. And, come a long way over the last 6 months, man. I told myself this was my year, but I did not know what that meant. I thought this meant, I was going to get some money in my pocket. I was going to get what I wanted. No, I was going to get stronger and more dominant in regards to my fears, and more dominant in regards to what it is that I will allow in my life, and what it is that I ultimately think my threshold is for patience, learning how to apply faith and putting God first, learning how to step away from certain things that have no business being in my life at all, burning bridges that ultimately the enemy can cross to get to me. All of these things is what this year was really about, and whatever comes next over the next couple months. But I'm telling you, I'm going to approach it the same way I'm approaching this, in prayer and in discipline. I'm inspired to work out. I'm inspired to eat well. I'm inspired to do my channel, my Laker stuff, everything I wanted to do. I'm still very much intent on giving to you and giving to myself. I love what I do, and I'm not entitled to anything at all. So that's what it is, man. I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. Hopefully the Lord sees to it that everything will fall into place from here. And part of me thinks it will, man. Part of me thinks it'll be fine. But if it ain't, I'm still going to praise God for what it is I have. I'm still going to praise God for what it is that comes next, because I know he can do good with that too, man. He can do a lot with a little in situations where you got learning to do. So I think that's the end of the video, man. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.